Don't scroll. I know you've been wondering. I know you've been asking yourself who knew. Who saw? Who heard? Who could confirm what really happened that night? You've been searching for answers. Looking for clues. Trying to piece together the truth. But you've been looking in the wrong direction. The person who knows everything about that night is not who you think. Not the person you suspect. Not the person you fear. Not the person you blame. Someone else. Someone you never suspected. Someone close to you. Someone you trust. Someone who has been silent. Not because they don't care. Because they were scared. Scared of what would happen if they spoke. Scared of losing you. Scared of losing them. Scared of the consequences. So they stayed silent. Not because they're guilty. Because they're afraid. And fear is a powerful silencer. But silence has a cost. Not to them. To you. You have been living in the dark. Not because the truth is hidden. Because no one told you. The truth is not hidden. It is being withheld. Not by the one who did it. By the one who saw it. They saw everything. Not part of it. Everything. Every detail. Every word. Every action. They were there. Not by accident. By design. I placed them there. Not to be a witness for the court. To be a witness for you. So you could know the truth. Not to punish. To free. The truth will set you free. Not from consequences. From confusion. Not from pain. From deception. Not from the past. From its power over you. You have been confused. Not because you're stupid. Because you don't have all the facts. Facts are not feelings. Feelings are not facts. You have been feeling. Not knowing. Feeling confused. Feeling betrayed. Feeling lost. Feeling is not knowing. Knowing requires facts. You don't have the facts. Because the witness has been silent. Not because they're evil. Because they're scared. Scared people stay silent. Until they can't. They are reaching their limit. Not because they're brave. Because they're tired. Tired of carrying the weight. Tired of pretending they don't know. Tired of watching you suffer in silence. Their silence is breaking. Not because they're ready. Because they have to. The truth is a pressure. Not a physical pressure. A spiritual pressure. Pressure builds. Not forever. For a time. The time is up. The pressure is too much. They must speak. Not because you asked. Because I am asking. I am the God of truth. And I do not let lies stand forever. The truth is coming. Not through the one who did it. Through the one who saw it. They will speak. Not to hurt you. To help you. Not to destroy you. To deliver you. Not to shame you. To free you. They will tell you everything. Not because they want to. Because they have to. Their conscience will not let them stay silent. Not because they're moral. Because they're human. Humans have consciences. Even when they ignore them, consciences speak. Their conscience has been whispering. Not loudly. Gently. But persistently. They have been ignoring. Not because they're evil. Because they're scared. Scared of what will happen. Scared of your reaction. Scared of their reaction. Scared of the fallout. But the whispers are getting louder. Not because their conscience is stronger. Because the time is right. The time for truth is now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Because you need to know. Not for revenge. For healing. You cannot heal what you don't know. Not because knowledge heals. Because truth heals. Truth is medicine. Not pleasant. Effective. The truth will be bitter. Not because it's false. Because it's painful. Painful truth is still truth. And truth heals. Not like a bandage. Like surgery. Surgery is painful. But life-saving. The truth is surgery. Not to kill you. To save you. To remove the cancer of deception. You have been living with cancer. Not physical. Spiritual. The cancer of not knowing. Of wondering. Of doubting. Of questioning. This cancer has been spreading. Not to your body. To your soul. Your soul is sick. Not because you're sinful. Because you've been poisoned. Poisoned by lies. By half-truths. By omissions. You need the antidote. The antidote is truth. Not partial truth. Full truth. The witness has the full truth. Not because they're omniscient. Because they were there. They saw. They heard. They remember. Not selectively. Fully. Their memory is intact. Not because they're special. Because they were present. Presence is not special. Presence is evidence. They have evidence. Not physical. Mental. Their mind holds the truth. Not because they want to. Because they can't forget. What they saw is seared into their memory. Not because it was dramatic. Because it was wrong. Wrongness imprints. The brain remembers wrong. Not because it's trying. Because it's protecting. Protecting you from future wrong. They have been protecting you. Not by speaking. By remembering. Memory is protection. Not against the past. Against the future. Remembering prevents repetition. Not if it's silent. If it's shared. They have not shared. Not because they don't care. Because they're scared. Scared of your response. Scared of the consequences. Scared of being blamed. They are not to blame. Not for what happened. Not for their silence. They are a witness. Not a participant. Not a perpetrator. Not a protector. A witness. Witnesses are not guilty. Not of the crime. Not of the cover-up. They are observers. Not responsible. Responsible to speak. They have a responsibility. Not to the law. To you. You deserve to know. Not because you're entitled. Because you're involved. You are the victim. Not the witness. Not the perpetrator. The victim. Victims deserve truth. Not because they're perfect. Because they're harmed. You were harmed. Not by the witness. By the perpetrator. The perpetrator is not the witness. The witness is not the perpetrator. Do not confuse them. Do not shoot the messenger. The messenger is not the message. The message is not the messenger. The witness is the messenger. The truth is the message. Receive the message. Not with anger at the messenger. With gratitude. Gratitude that someone cares enough to tell you. Not because it's easy. Because it's hard. Hard truths are hard to tell. They are telling you. Not because they want to. Because they have to. Their conscience won't let them stay silent. Not because they're brave. Because they're obedient. Obedient to me. I am the one who is pushing. Not to hurt you. To heal you. The truth will set you free. Not from responsibility. From deception. Not from pain. From ignorance. Not from the past. From its power over you. You have been under the power of not knowing. Not knowing is a tyrant. It controls your thoughts. Your emotions. Your decisions. You have been controlled. Not by the perpetrator. By your own ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is bondage. You are in bondage. Not to sin. To uncertainty. Uncertainty is a prison. Not with bars. With questions. Questions you can't answer. What really happened? Who was involved? Why did they do it? These questions have been your jailers. Not because they're evil. Because they're unanswered. Unanswered questions keep you stuck. Not in the past. In the present. You are stuck. Not because you're weak. Because you don't know. Knowing is the key. Not to the past. To the future. You cannot move forward without knowing. Not because you need to dwell. Because you need to process. Processing requires information. You don't have information. Because the witness has been silent. Not because they're withholding. Because they're scared. But their fear is ending. Not because they're brave. Because the time has come. The time for truth. Not on their timeline. On mine. My timeline is not flexible. Not because I am rigid. Because I am just. Justice requires truth. Not partial truth. Full truth. The witness has full truth. They will tell you. Not all at once. piece by piece. As you can handle it. Not because they're strategic. Because I am. I am the God of timing. Not early. Not late. On time. The time is now. Not because you're ready. Because you need to be. Readiness is not required. Need is. You need to know. Not because you want to. Because you have to. To heal. To grow. To move forward. You cannot stay where you are. Not because you're impatient. Because I am moving. I am moving you forward. Not around the truth. Through it. The truth is the path. Not a detour. The path. Walk through it. Not around it. Through it. The witness will light the path. Not with a lantern. With their words. Words are light. Not physical. Spiritual. Their words will illuminate. Not the room. Your mind. Your mind has been dark. Not because you're stupid. Because you've been kept in the dark. The dark is not your friend. The dark is where secrets hide. Secrets are not your friends. Secrets keep you sick. Not because they're evil. Because they're hidden. Hidden things fester. The truth has been hidden. Not by the witness. By the perpetrator. The perpetrator hid the truth. Not because they're clever. Because they're ashamed. Shame hides. Not because it's wise. Because it's scared. The perpetrator is scared. Not of you. Of exposure. Exposure is coming. Not because you're exposing. Because I am. I am the exposer. Not of sin. Of truth. Truth exposes. Not to shame. To save. The truth will save you. Not from hell. From deception. Not from the past. From its power over you. The truth will set you free. Free to know. Free to heal. Free to move. Free. Not because you deserve it. Because I am good. And good gives freedom. Receive it. Not from the witness. From me. I am the source. Not of truth only. Of freedom. Truth and freedom are twins. Not identical. Connected. You cannot have one without the other. Not because I am withholding. Because they are inseparable. Truth without freedom is facts without meaning. Freedom without truth is chaos without direction. You need both. Not separately. Together. The witness gives truth. I give freedom. Not in exchange. In addition. Truth plus freedom equals healing. Not a formula. A promise. I promise healing. Not because you deserve it. Because I am faithful. Healing is coming. Not through the witness alone. Through me. I am the healer. Not of memories. Of hearts. Your heart has been wounded. Not by the witness. By the perpetrator. The perpetrator wounded you. Not with a weapon. With deception. Deception wounds. Not the body. The soul. Your soul is wounded. Not beyond repair. Wounded. Wounds can heal. Not by ignoring. By treating. Treatment requires diagnosis. Diagnosis requires information. The witness has information. Not to diagnose. To inform. I will diagnose. Not with a stethoscope. With love. Love sees what others miss. I see you're wound. Not partially. Fully. You were hurt. Not by accident. By intention. The perpetrator intended to hurt you. Not because they're evil. Because they're broken. Broken people break others. Not because they want to. Because they're broken. Their brokenness broke you. Not because you're weak. Because they're sharp. Broken glass cuts. They cut you. Not because you were in the way. Because they were swinging. Swinging at anything. Not at you specifically. At anyone. You were there. Proximity is not guilt. You are not guilty of their brokenness. They are. But you are cut. Now you need to heal. Not by confronting them. By coming to me. I am the healer. Come. Bring your wounded heart. I will heal it. Not overnight. But truly. One layer at a time. As you spend time with me. As you read my word. As you pray. As you worship. Healing comes. Not because you're trying. Because I am working. In you. Through you. For you. Because you are mine. And I heal what is mine. So come. Not when you're ready. Now. I am waiting. Not with a lecture. With love. Not with judgment. With grace. Not with disappointment. With hope. Hope for you. Not for them. You are not them. You are mine. Come. Don't scroll. Stay with me. This is where most people want to blame the witness. Don't. Here's what the witness knows. Not what you think. What it is. They know who was there. Not the perpetrator only. Others. Others who saw. Others who heard. Others who did nothing. They know the bystanders. Not as perpetrators. As accomplices. Accomplices by silence. Silence is complicity. Not always. Sometimes. When silence protects the guilty, it is complicity. Their silence protected the guilty. Not because they're evil. Because they're scared. Scared of the consequences of speaking. But their silence has consequences too. Not for them. For you. You have suffered. Not because of what happened only. Because of the silence. Silence amplifies pain. Not because pain is louder. Because silence is empty. Empty amplifies. Like an echo chamber. Your pain has echoed. Not because it's loud. Because there was no one to hear. No one to validate. No one to confirm. You felt crazy. Not because you are. Because no one agreed. Agreement is not truth. Agreement is validation. You needed validation. Not because you're weak. Because you're human. Humans need validation. Especially when they've been hurt. The witness will validate you. Not with their opinion. With their presence. Presence is validation. Not because they agree. Because they saw. Saw what you saw. Heard what you heard. You are not crazy. Not because they say so. Because they confirm. Confirmation is not opinion. Confirmation is fact. The fact is that it happened. Not in your imagination. In reality. The witness knows. Not because they're psychic. Because they were there. Their presence is proof. Not for a court. For your heart. Your heart needs proof. Not to convict. To heal. Proof heals. Not like medicine. Like truth. Truth is medicine. The witness has truth. They will give it. Not because you asked. Because they have to. The truth is a pressure. Not external. Internal. Internal pressure builds. Not forever. For a time. The time is now. Not because they're ready. Because the pressure is unbearable. They must speak. Not to hurt you. To help you. Not to destroy you. To deliver you. Not to shame you. To free you. They will speak. And you will know. Not everything. Enough. Enough to heal. Enough to move. Enough to be free. The truth will set you free. Not from pain. From confusion. Not from the past. From its power over you. You will be free. Not because you deserve it. Because I am good. And good gives freedom. Receive it. Not from the witness. From me. I am the source. Come. Not to the witness. To me. I am waiting. Don't scroll. Part 2 is here. And if you made it through Part 1, if you stayed when the truth about the witness was revealed, then you're ready for what comes next. Because Part 1 was about the witness. Who they are. What they know. Why they've been silent. Why they must speak. Part 2 is about receiving the truth and walking into freedom. Not in your strength. In mine. Not overnight. Over time. But surely. The truth is coming. Not to hurt you. To heal you. Not to destroy you. To deliver you. Not to shame you. To free you. But receiving the truth is not automatic. You must be ready. Not ready to hear. Ready to receive. Hearing is passive. Receiving is active. You have been hearing, not receiving. Hearing with your ears, not with your heart. Your heart has been closed. Not because you're hard. Because you've been hurt. Hurt hearts close. To protect themselves. Not because they're weak. Because they're wise. Wise to protect. But protection is not permanent. Not when the truth is medicine. Medicine must be received. Not injected. Received. You must open your heart. Not to more pain. To healing. Healing requires openness. Not vulnerability. Openness. Vulnerability is different. Vulnerability is risk. Openness is trust. You trust me. Not because I'm safe. Because I'm faithful. Faithful is not safe. Faithful is reliable. I am reliable. Not because I do what you want. Because I do what is best. Best is not comfortable. Best is healing. You need healing. Not comfort. Healing. Healing is coming. Through the truth. The witness will bring truth. Not comfort. Truth. Truth may hurt. Not because it's cruel. Because it's real. Real is not always comfortable. But real is necessary. You need real. Not comfortable. Real. Real will set you free. Not from pain. From deception. Not from the past. From its power over you. The truth will set you free. But you must receive it. Not with your defenses up. With your defenses down. Your defenses have been up. Not because you're aggressive. Because you're scared. Scared of more pain. But the truth is not more pain. The truth is the end of pain. Not the end of feeling. The end of guessing. Guessing is painful. Not knowing is painful. The truth ends not knowing. Not because you'll know everything. Because you'll know enough. Enough to stop guessing. Enough to start healing. Enough to move forward. That's what you need. Not all the answers. Enough. Enough is enough. Not because you're settling. Because you're ready. Ready to move. Not stuck. Moving. Moving is healing. Not fast. Moving. You have been stuck. Not because you're lazy. Because you didn't know. Knowing unsticks. Not instantly. Gradually. But surely. The witness will give you knowing. Not all at once. Gradually. As you can handle. Not because I am slow. Because you are human. Humans can only handle so much. Too much truth is overwhelming. Not because truth is bad. Because you're wounded. Wounded people need gentle truth. Not brutal. Gentle. The witness will be gentle. Not because they're soft. Because I am guiding. I am the guide. Not of the witness only. Of you. I will guide you through the truth. Not around it. Through it. Through is the only way. Not a detour. Through. Through is healing. Not avoidance. Through. You have been avoiding. Not because you're weak. Because you're scared. Scared of what you'll find. But what you'll find is not more pain. What you'll find is the source of your pain. Not the perpetrator. The wound. The wound is not the perpetrator. The perpetrator caused the wound. But the wound is yours. Not theirs. Yours. You must heal your wound. Not by knowing the perpetrator. By knowing the truth. The truth about what happened. Not about why. About what? Why is not your concern. What is? What happened? Not why. Why is between them and me? What is between you and the truth? The witness knows what. Not why. They will tell you what. Not why. Why is not for you. Not because you can't handle it. Because it's not yours. The why is theirs. The what is yours. Focus on what. Not why. What will set you free. Not why. Why keeps you stuck. Not because it's not important. Because it's not yours. You cannot carry their why. Not because you're weak. Because it's not yours. Only they can carry their why. Only I can heal it. Not you. So focus on what. What happened. Not why. What. Let the witness tell you what. Not why. And let what set you free. So take a breath. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to help you receive the truth. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here is the first thing you need to do to receive the truth. Prepare your heart. Not your mind. Your heart. Your mind will analyze. Question. Doubt. Your heart knows how to receive. Let your heart lead. Not your mind. Your mind is a filter. Not a bad filter. A filter. Filters block some things. Not because they're evil. Because they're protective. But protection is not always helpful. Sometimes protection blocks healing. Your mind has been protecting you from the truth. Not because the truth is bad. Because the truth is painful. Painful things are blocked. Not by your mind only. By your heart. Your heart has been blocking. Not because it's evil. Because it's wounded. Wounded hearts block. To protect themselves. But the wound needs to be seen. Not blocked. Seen. Seeing is healing. Not hiding. Seeing. You have been hiding. Not from others. From yourself. You hid from the truth. Not because you're a coward. Because you're human. Humans hide. Especially from pain. But hiding doesn't heal. Hiding prolongs. You have been prolonging your pain. Not because you're weak. Because you didn't know another way. Now you know. The way is through. not around. Through. Through requires seeing. Not hiding. Seeing. Prepare your heart to see. Not to hide. See. Not with your eyes. With your heart. Your heart has eyes. Not physical. Spiritual. Spiritual eyes see truth. Not facts. Truth. Truth is not facts. Truth is meaning. Facts are data. Data without meaning is noise. You need meaning. Not data. The witness will give data. I will give meaning. Not separately. Together. Data plus meaning equals truth. Truth heals. Not like medicine. Like revelation. Revelation is not information. Revelation is understanding. Understanding is not knowledge. Understanding is wisdom. You need wisdom. Not knowledge. Knowledge is knowing what happened. Wisdom is knowing what to do with it. I am wisdom. Not a concept. A person. I will give you wisdom. Not because you deserve it. Because I am good. Receive wisdom. Not from the witness. From me. I am the source. Not of data. Of meaning. The witness has data. I have meaning. Together we will heal you. Not separately. Together. So prepare your heart. Not for data. For meaning. Meaning is not in the witness. Meaning is in me. Come to me. Not for data. For meaning. I am waiting. Don't scroll. Stay with me. This is where most people want data without meaning. Don't. Here is the second thing you need to do to receive the truth. Listen without interrupting. Not with your mouth. With your heart. Your heart has a mouth. Not physical. Spiritual. Your heart speaks. Not with words. With reactions. Reactions are interruptions. Not verbal. Emotional. You have been reacting. Not to the witness. To the truth. The truth triggers your wounds. Not because truth is bad. Because wounds are sensitive. Sensitive wounds react. Not because you're weak. Because you're wounded. Wounded people react. Not because they're mean. Because they're hurt. You are hurt. Not because you're weak. Because you were hurt. Your reactions are not attacks. Your reactions are defenses. Defenses are not bad. Defenses protect. But protection is not always helpful. Sometimes protection prevents healing. Your defenses have been preventing healing. Not because you're stubborn. Because you're scared. Scared of more pain. But the truth is not more pain. The truth is the end of pain. Not the end of feeling. The end of guessing. Guessing is painful. The truth ends guessing. Not because you'll know everything. Because you'll know enough. Enough to stop reacting. Enough to start responding. Responding is not reacting. Reacting is defensive. Responding is deliberate. You need to respond, not react. Responding requires listening. Not with your defenses up. With your defenses down. Your defenses have been up. Not because you're aggressive. Because you're scared. Scared of what you'll hear. But what you'll hear is not more pain. What you'll hear is the truth. And the truth will set you free. Not from pain. From confusion. Confusion is painful. The truth ends confusion. Not because you'll understand everything. Because you'll understand enough. Enough to respond. Not react. So listen. Not with your defenses. With your heart. Your heart knows how to listen. Not with fear. With hope. Hope is not naivety. Hope is trust. Trust that I am with you. Not that the truth won't hurt. That I will heal the hurt. Healing is coming. Through the truth. Not despite it. Through it. The truth is the scalpel. Not the bandage. Scalpels cut. Not because they're cruel. Because they're necessary. Necessary for surgery. Surgery heals. Not without pain. With pain. Pain is temporary. Healing is permanent. Not because pain is good. Because healing is better. Better is worth the pain. Not because you're a masochist. Because you're a survivor. Survivors endure pain. For the sake of healing. You are a survivor. Not because you're strong. Because I am with you. I am with you. Not watching from a distance. Holding your hand. Every word. Every truth. Every tear. I am with you. So listen. Not with fear. With faith. Faith is not blind. Faith is trust. Trust me. Not that the truth won't hurt. That I will heal. Healing is coming. Through the truth. So listen. Don't scroll. This is where everything shifts. Here is the third thing you need to do to receive the truth. Ask questions. Not accusing questions. Clarifying questions. What do you mean by that? Can you tell me more? What happened next? Questions, not accusations. Accusations shut down. Questions open up. You need openness. Not shut down. The witness needs openness. Not to feel safe. To tell the truth. Truth-telling requires safety. Not physical safety. Emotional safety. Emotional safety is not guaranteed. It is created. You create it. With your questions. With your tone. With your posture. Not with your words only. With your heart. Your heart can create safety. Not because you're skilled. Because you're sincere. Sincerity is not technique. Sincerity is honesty. You are honest. Not because you're perfect. Because you're real. Real is safe. Fake is not. You are not fake. You are real. Your realness creates safety. Not for everyone. For the witness. They trust you. Not because you're trustworthy. Because you're real. Real people are trustworthy. Not because they never lie. Because they're consistent. Consistency is trust. Not perfection. Consistency. You have been consistent. Not perfectly. Truly. The witness knows. Not because they're psychic. Because they've watched. Watched you. Observed you. Trusted you. They trust you. Not because you're perfect. Because you're real. Your realness is their safety. Not because you're a therapist. Because you're a friend. A friend who listens. Not with judgment. With curiosity. Curiosity is not nosiness. Curiosity is care. You care. Not because you have to. Because you want to. Wanting is not duty. Wanting is love. You love. Not perfectly. Truly. Your love creates safety. Not for everyone. For the witness. They feel safe. Not because you're safe. Because you love. Love is safe. Not because love is weak. Because love is faithful. Faithful is safe. Not predictable. Reliable. You are reliable. Not because you're perfect. Because you stay. Staying is reliability. Not leaving. Staying. You have stayed. Not because it was easy. Because it was right. Right is not easy. Right is right. You chose right. Not because you're a saint. Because you're a friend. A friend stays. Not when it's convenient. When it's needed. You are needed. Not by the witness. By the truth. The truth needs you. Not to speak. To receive. Receiving is active. Not passive. Active. You must act. Not with your hands. With your heart. Your heart must open. Not to pain. To truth. Truth is not pain. Truth is freedom. Open your heart. Not to the witness. To the truth. The truth is coming. Not to hurt you. To free you. Receive it. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here is the fourth thing you need to do to receive the truth. Don't shoot the messenger. The messenger is not the message. The witness is not the perpetrator. Do not confuse them. Your anger may misdirect. Not because you're mean. Because you're hurt. Hurt people misdirect. Not intentionally. Unconsciously. Be conscious. Not reactive. Aware. Awareness is not accusation. Awareness is observation. Observe your feelings. Not to judge them. To understand them. Your anger may be at the perpetrator. Not the witness. Do not misplace. Misplaced anger harms the innocent. The witness is innocent. Not of knowledge. Of the act. They did not do it. They saw it. Seeing is not doing. Not guilt. Observation. Do not punish observers. Not because they're weak. Because they're not guilty. Guilt is not transferable. Not from the perpetrator to the witness. The perpetrator is guilty. Not the witness. Do not confuse. Your healing depends on it. Not because the witness matters. Because truth matters. Truth requires a safe witness. Not a blamed witness. Do not blame the witness. Not because they're perfect. Because they're helping. Helping is not hurting. Not because they're selfless. Because they're obedient. Obedient to me. I ask them to speak. Not to hurt you. To help you. They are helping. Not because it's easy. Because it's right. Right is not popular. Right is right. They chose right. Not because they're heroes. Because they're human. Humans can choose right. Not always. Sometimes. This time they did. Honor their choice. Not with anger. With gratitude. Gratitude is not naivety. Gratitude is wisdom. Wisdom knows when to thank. Thank the witness. Not for the pain. For the truth. Truth is a gift. Not pleasant. Precious. Precious things are valuable. Not because they're easy. Because they're rare. The truth is rare. Not because it's hidden. Because it's hard. Hard truths are rare. Not because people don't know. Because people don't tell. The witness told. Not because they wanted to. Because they had to. Their obedience is a gift. Receive it. Not with anger. With gratitude. Thank them. Not with words only. With your heart. Your heart knows gratitude. Not because you're good. Because you're human. Humans can be grateful. Not always. Sometimes. This time choose grateful. Not angry. Gratitude heals. Not anger. Anger wounds. You have been wounded enough. Choose healing. Not anger. Gratitude. Don't scroll. Stay with me. We're halfway through part 2. Here is the 5th thing you need to do to receive the truth. Take time to process. Not immediately. Eventually. The truth may be overwhelming. Not because you're weak. Because you're human. Humans need time. Time to absorb. Time to grieve. Time to heal. Give yourself time. Not their timeline. Yours. You may not process quickly. Not because you're slow. Because the wounds are deep. Deep wounds take time. Be patient. Not with the witness. With yourself. You are healing. Not quickly. Slowly. But healing. Processing is part of healing. Not the whole part. Allow yourself to process. Not by rushing. By resting. Rest in me. Not in the truth. In me. I am your rest. Not the truth. The truth is not restful. The truth is work. Healing is work. Not your work alone. Our work. You and me. Together. I will help you process. Not by explaining. By comforting. Comfort is not explanation. Comfort is presence. I am present. Not in the past. In the now. Now is where healing happens. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Now. Process now. Not by understanding everything. By feeling everything. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are data. Data about your wounds. Not about the truth. The truth is data about what happened. Your feelings are data about your wounds. Both are important. Not one without the other. Process both. Not separately. Together. Your feelings about the truth. Not the truth alone. The truth without feelings is facts. Facts without feelings are cold. You need warmth. Not cold. Feelings provide warmth. Not comfortable warmth. Honest warmth. Honesty is warm. Not because it's cozy. Because it's real. Real is warm. Not fake. Real. Be real with your feelings. Not fake. Fake is cold. Real is warm. Be warm. Not cold. Process with warmth. Not coldness. Your heart is warm. Not because you're perfect. Because you're human. Humans have warm hearts. Not all the time. Sometimes. Now is the time. Warm your heart. Not with a fire. With honesty. Honesty is fire. Not destructive. Purifying. Purifying fire burns impurities. Not to destroy. To cleanse. Your wounds have impurities. Not sin. Confusion. Confusion is impurity. Not evil. Unclear. The truth clarifies. Not with heat. With light. Light clarifies. Not burns. Illuminates. The truth is light. Not heat. Light does not burn. Light reveals. Revelation is not destruction. Revelation is illumination. You need illumination. Not destruction. The truth will illuminate. Not destroy. Receive the light. Not with fear. With hope. Hope is not naivety. Hope is trust. Trust that I am with you. Not that the light won't reveal wounds. That I will heal them. Healing is coming. Through the light. Not around it. Through it. So process. Not in darkness. In light. The truth is light. Walk in it. not around it. In it. I am with you. Listen to me. Your heart needs this right now. Here is what I want you to take with you. This person knows everything about that night. Now receive the truth. Prepare your heart. Listen without interrupting. Ask questions. Don't shoot the messenger. Take time to process. These are not suggestions. They are steps. Steps toward receiving. Not a perfect reception. A true reception. Take them. Not quickly. Prayerfully. Not alone. With me. I am with you. Every step. Not watching from a distance. Walking beside you. Every step. Even the steps that feel like going backward. I am with you. And I am leading you forward. Not quickly. But surely. One step at a time. Take the next step. Not the perfect step. The next step. And I will be with you. Breathe. Put your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. I put it there. I am keeping it beating. I am not going to stop. And neither should you. Because the truth is coming. And the truth will set you free. Receive it. Not in fear. In faith. Not alone. With me. Receive. I am with you.